Hi, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. My name's Ursie, and things in the energy field are really ramping up. At least I feel this. And it's not always a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the energy seems like it's building. And the good news for me is I really believed what my friend Raven Many Voices shared at the beginning of 2022. What she shared with me helped to inspire me to begin to create the Ascension Playground, a place where we could meet and share ideas and basically help each other lighten up. Because here we are, we're moving in the new energy. But Raven said to me and her group, you know, 2022 is the year to roar not because you want to create attention to yourself, but roar so that your soul tribe and family members can find you. I mean, I'm going to pause there for a minute. Imagine that when you come out of your own shadow or worries about being seen fully for who you are, when you get over yourself, Ursula, get over myself and my fear, and you just let yourself say, okay, for the next 3 months, I'm just going to allow myself the permission to be. So I took Raven's idea that 2022 was going to be a year of magic where I would let myself roar. So what am I roaring about? I can't stop talking about the starseeds Galactic Astrology. For some reason, it has all the bells and whistles that make me excited because it brings together so many things that I love. First of all, top number one is that the people who feel drawn to starseeds astrology, well, you got to admit, we're a little different. There's a cosmic vibration that's helping us raise our vision, our voices, and our sights into the cosmos through our hearts and through our souls. And maybe even thinking about, oh yeah, I'm not just this one earthly body. There's a potential here. If you start thinking about what the science is talking about, string theory or parallel universes happening simultaneously, you know, it's so third dimensional and fourth dimensional to stay on a linear timeline. But if we can use our imaginations perhaps and just embrace this idea, what if it's true? Let's try it out. So Julia Balaz in the Star Seeds, plural, astrology.com, the free online calculator. Just can't get enough of it. In fact, I'd like to go back to the calculator to continue sharing what I'm learning as I'm moving through the course of being a practitioner through Julia's classes. So let me share the screen with you. Here we go. Okay, so excuse me for this, you come to Star Seeds, plural, astrology, and I can bring this a little higher. There's the HTML. Okay, you get here for a Star Seeds report. There's a mobile component. There's meanings that can give you a little bit of basic meanings of some of the calculations. And here's where you can sign up and just take a look at some of her online courses, which are self-paced. They don't end. They're offered 24/7. Okay, so remember, we put in the birth date, and in this case, I put in my daughter's information, the time. It's very important to have the time. And then with the city, you just start typing, and when your city shows up, the state and the country, that helps with the coordinates of latitude and longitude. And then we hit the calculate button. Okay, then we copied and we pasted the information here on the screen. Here's her information, and I'm scrolling down. In the previous comments, we did a basic report of the constellations. But in this case, I have clicked these two buttons showed the trines, sextile, and squares, and showed the degrees for an extended report of the star systems. So I'm going to scroll down even more, maybe open up the screen a bit. Okay, so here we are. Previously, we talked about the sun line, her sun in Capricorn in the 26th degree with 6 minutes in the 12th house. Has an opposition in the constellation Canis Minor to the fixed star called Procyon. This is the only opposition on her sun line. So a reminder that there's this idea in this system that this opposition to Procyon at a 16-minute degree of orb is perhaps where my daughter's most recent lifetime is. So I'll research Procyon and see what the narrative of that particular fixed star is and see if it fits in with how I've experienced her journey in this, you know, the first 18, 19 years of her life. So that's one aspect. Now she has her moon in Cancer, 4 degrees of Cancer at 19 minutes in the 5th house of self-expression. Not to worry that there aren't any soul connections on her moon line. What this means is continue because there's ease within her moon for this lifetime, that the real work will happen elsewhere. AC stands for the ascendant. The ascendant is how she presents herself in the world, which is 6 degrees of Aquarius, 23 minutes in the 1st house of I am. So my daughter will present herself as rather forward thinking, not of this particular time perhaps. Aquarius is about the innovative, suddenness. It has the potential for genius. And Aquarius happens to be the most ET or alien feeling of all the 12 zodiac signs. What we're seeing with her ascendant in the 1st house of I am is Hyades, the constellation Hyades, and she has a trine to Hyadin 1 and Hyadin 2, 2 stars within the constellation of Hyades, and they have very strong orb of 32 minutes each. What does this mean? It means the trine aspect is where her gifts are. She came already built in with whatever positive aspects from the constellation Hyades in the specific star nations of Hyadin 1 and Hyadin 2. So anytime you see a trine, that is in astrology, 120-degree aspect, and it's saying basically that this constellation is 120 degrees from her ascendant as it relates to the earth. Okay, so what is it of her I am house in Aquarius, which is new age, forward thinking, the future, that she comes fully loaded with Hyades? The little thumbnail that I remember is that Hyadin 1 and Hyadin 2 from this particular constellation has a lot to do with the heart, the great love, unconditional love, the cosmic heart. I'm going to leave it there, but you can, when you pull your report, look for all your trines. This is the word conjunction, which means merged energy. Squares mean there's something that is still left to learn. Any square typically holds this idea of karmic lessons to be resolved in this lifetime or not. There's a choice point. Oppositions speak to potential incarnations in that star system, like embodied or not. Could also mean an opposition. You've got, let's just see this one, her North Node in Gemini. What is it within the North Node that my daughter is here to really focus on? The North Node points us basically to the area in life where our destiny, our soul astrology points us towards. Hers happens to be in the beautiful house of Gemini. 7 degrees of Gemini, 48 minutes in the 4th house of home. So Gemini, the twins, right? Gemini speaks to the idea of communications. So what is it that she's being asked to speak about in the house of home? She's got energy that's conjunct, which is merging. So she's got natural merged energy with any conjunction on this north node, but her real work would be within learning about Draco, the constellation Draco, and particularly the story of the fixed star Tuban, because there's a square, meaning she's certainly got an area to learn and agreed to learn in this particular area. In opposition to Antares in the constellation Scorpius, that could mean you reach across from Gemini. The opposite of Gemini is Sagittarius. So there's something about reaching over into the other side. And here we have South Node, Scorpius. So there may be some work to still be done in balancing energy that has to do with the story of Antares. Okay. With a South Node or SN in Sagittarius in the 10th house, the South Node is what you've come in with. It speaks to past life. You've been there. These qualities will feel familiar. But the challenge is, how do you move to the opposite of the axis and move towards your North Node? But let's see what she came in with already having experienced. Sagittarius, first of all, the Sagittarians are very much about truth with a capital T. They're the philosophers. They're after the bigger truths in life. Not the small, is it true or not? It's about universal truth. And the 10th house of career. So let's imagine, just playing a little story here, that she's already had an incredible career, let's say as a judge, or one who studied the law and was able to give verdicts. Okay, but now this lifetime, she needs to bring some of that wisdom and judiciousness into the home and to communicate some of that judiciousness in the home of Gemini, siblings. Okay, so what did she come in with? She came in with this cosmic heart. She came in with an opposition to Aldebaran in Taurus. She came in, here's the Draco Tuban square. So because they're both squared, let's imagine that there was something that she came in with, but perhaps not resolved. So extra time to resolve any issues around Draco, in particular the fixed star Tuban. She came in with a conjunction to Antares. So what qualities does she already carry in her energy field into her already preloaded wisdom base that comes from Antares? I'm sorry to leave you hanging, but here I'm going to stop sharing. But this is how the Galactic Astrology, how you start weaving the sentences. We can't get to the end result yet. Like in the spiritual journey, enjoy the path. You know, you don't just climb the mountain all at once. You get to a level of understanding, where's base camp? What do I need to bring on my journey? What tools do I need? What have I already come in with? Knowing that past life, you know, what did I come in already with an awareness or with gifts or with merged energy in my conjunctions? Help me to understand what's natural for me, because I think other people have that same natural awareness. No, they don't. We each are kind of like our own individualized soul program to navigate. And each time we get to say, without judgment, are you ready to learn? You agreed to this ride, this beautiful ride in this particular lifetime. My personal view is it's kind of like a roller coaster. You know, when you get on the ride, you're like, okay, yeah, I'll go on the scary ride. And then you're buckled in, and then it starts to move. And then you go, oh no, I know it's coming. And the scariest part for me on a roller coaster ride is actually the click, 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 going all the way up. And it keeps going click, 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 all the way to the top. And that moment when you're at the top, right before it goes, whoosh, and the life starts. And then it, you know, if you chose the little baby ride, it might just be a gentle, and some of us have chosen gentle lifetimes, but others of us, like myself, it may be more of a straight up and then straight down and whoosh, 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 and then around again. But at the end of life, let's just say, or the end of the ride, my personal view is someone will welcome me at the end of the ride and say 2 questions. 1, how was the ride? How did you enjoy it? And secondly, do you want to go on again? So those are the 2 things that I think when I look at a lifetime, especially if you're going through the bumps or you're like overwhelmed by everything happening in the world, just know from the position and perspective of at the end of the ride, how was it? How was it, dear soul? Did you enjoy it? How scary was it? Was it super, super scary? But then did you find the resolution? Did you learn from it? And do you want to go on again? So those are my 2 little cents today around Starseeds Galactic Astrology. In the comment box or the chat room, if you wouldn't mind, let me know if you want me to continue, because I could start talking all day as I'm learning how to become a practitioner. Because the more I talk about it, the more I share, the more the teachings and lessons are going deeper into me. If you also want, not just on my channel, the Ascension Playground with Jimmy and Robbie, if you also want to check out Julia Balaz, B-A-L-A-Z, and look for either quantum soul healing, or you could look at starseedsastrology.com, or just Google her name on YouTube, B-A-L-A-Z, Julia. It's fascinating what she's brought forward in such an Aquarian, very much heart-based. This is not about the mind. It's really about learning some tools to play with the narrative that we carry and to maybe reconsider some of the stories that I've held about who I am, why I'm here, and where I'm going. And again, dear soul, remember at the very, very end of the ride, how was it? And hey, do you want to go on again? Okay, that's all for me. Thanks again for joining on the Ascension Playground. See you.